Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. And I want first to thank Dr. Aman for her trust and for her words. And I think it's a gesture of generosity, and I take it as that. So I'm French. I'm Marie-Laure Pochon. And I was not born in dentistry. In fact, I like very much Eminem, as you have probably understood. We have only one shot, one opportunity, and the reality is that first, I love this song, and second, I think it's a little bit wrong. On my side, I had the chance, and I feel it's really a chance, to have 4 lives. I will tell you more. It's a little bit difficult for a French person to say more about the life, but I will do it for you, and I think I hope you will enjoy and take some ideas. So during 28 years, I have been in the pharma industry, very much with American companies, first Merck and Pfizer, and then a Danish company named Lundbeck. 29 years old, I was business unit manager, 39 affiliate manager, France, and 49, I was the number 2 of a 3 billion company, working from Denmark. And then I moved to medtech and to dental, and it was in 2012, and it was a very, very good move. I like to say that this was probably one of the best choices of my life. And I will tell you why more later. And in 2020, another turn, because I decided to become really entrepreneur. With 3Disc, it was at the time a very small company, very much R&D, very small company. I became the majority shareholder, CEO, but a very small company, and I think what we have done on the last 5 years is showing that now, even with restricted teams, we can do a lot. Let me go back first to my childhood. The reality is that when I was 8 years old, 3 things happened. Really 3 things. First, I understood that for me, the most interesting part of my life was the Sunday at lunch. Every Sunday at lunch, we were with my father, his brothers and sisters around a big table, and they were discussing about business. They were doing business together. They were laughing. They were discussing about the family, and I thought, it's fantastic. This is what I want to do. Business and family together. Another part of my life was to have another grandmother who was living, I thought at the start, she was at that time that she was very, very old. And I thought she was living with another lady who was absolutely edentulous. And I was very intrigued. And I asked this lady, whose name was Hélène, I asked this lady many, many times, are you suffering? And she answered, no, I'm not suffering. Are you good? And she said, oh, of course, I'm perfect. And for me, it was very intriguing because she said she was perfect, but on the other side, each time she was to laugh, she put her hand in front of the mouth. She was not able to really eat, and I thought it's very strange, and it's sad. Third thing, which happened when I was 8, was that one day my father came home and said, we are invited, your mother and me, so not me, of course, not Marie-Laure, we are invited in New York. I was living in a small city in France, and we have looked at books, etc., and I thought, it's fantastic. This is where I want to go later. This is my dream. What is fun is that now, when I'm in the US, I hear everybody saying, I want to go to Paris. And you have to understand that for us, the big story is to go to New York. Okay, those three things made me a very, very nice childhood. But the reality is that 4 years later, things have changed one night. My father was killed in a car accident, and from one day to the other, things have totally changed. Money became a real issue. My mother was totally depressed. She was suing the rest of the family, so it was really difficult. And I thought, I only have one mission in life, is to be able to live my destiny for myself and not count on anybody. And I can tell you it's very strange, but it's very true. I was 13 years old. I was anxious of becoming adult every day. And it was a real pain, but also a real decision. Quite logically, I went to the pharma industry. And quite logically, I went to a pharma industry with American companies. And I had the chance to work in many, many fields. Cardiology, psychiatry, neurology, plenty of fields, diabetology. And one of the things I figured out was the following. Of course, on those 28 years, many, many new drugs have changed the life of patients and have changed the way that the diseases are treated. But it's not enough. What I have discovered is that as important as new products, new innovative products, can be having the right biomarker, the right KPI. This changed life of the patient. And what I figured out, and I will give you an example. And what I figured out is that at the end of the day, in most of the disease, the most important is that the patients are understanding their disease, are understanding how they can cope with the disease, and are committed to go better. Let's take an example. In the diabetes, I think that everybody knows that I have always difficulties to pronounce that, so HbA1c has totally changed. It's a simple biomarker. It was in the early 80s, the presence of this biomarker, the fact that this biomarker was acknowledged as being the most important, I would say, factor, KPI for the diabetes, has changed the life of the patient by 7 years. 7 years. Not a new drug, not a new something. Just because with that, an invisible disease has become kind of visible. There was a figure. And to be frank with you, I can give you other examples. So this was one of the things I have really understood a lot when I was in the pharma industry. Again, life has challenged me. One day, my husband died in an avalanche. Situation was very different. I was an adult, I had children. Situation was very different. But the result is that after 1 year, I realized that 2 things. The first is life is very short. You can't say, I will do it tomorrow. You have to do it today. And I have to make an impact. And I thought, okay, pharma industry is very nice, doing good money, no problem. But making an impact is not that easy. You are with big teams, you have, time is long, everything takes 15 years. And so I thought, one of the most important decisions in my life, I will go to medtech, because medtech, we can go faster, and it's better to make an impact. And from there, I was lucky enough to have the proposal to become the CEO of Acteon. And Acteon was a very, very nice company. I had a lot of pleasure leading this company. We have doubled the sales. We have multiplied the EBITDA by 4.3 in 4 years, so everything went well. But I thought at the end, we have not made a real change in the life of the patients. And I need to make something better. So I proposed the acquisition of this little company, 3Ds, to Acteon. And for many, many reasons, which were probably very good for them, they said no. And I said, okay, no problem, I will do it myself. And I will explain you why I thought it was so important. Dentistry is very, when you look from the pharmaceutical industry to dentistry, three figures are very strange. The first figure is that only 50% of the patients are treated. You go in any other, in the Western world, I mean, not in India, of course. To be very frank, there is not a single other disease or field in which this is happening. The second figure is only 50% of the treatment are accepted by the patient. The famous acceptance rate of 45 to 50%, so if you reverse, it's 50. Do you imagine going to your cardiologist? A patient goes to his cardiologist and says to the cardiologist, oh, I know I have cholesterol, I have high blood pressure, but okay, we treat only cholesterol. We forget about the high. Never. Never. It's impossible. How it comes that in the dental field, we accept that the patients are saying, okay, we treat only half of what I have. It's not normal. The third figure is very simple. There is not a single biomarker that makes the disease really visible and understandable for the patients. Of course, patients can see X-rays, but patients are patients. They are not experts in dentistry, and for them it's impossible. So for me, those three things were enough to think, okay, I will start another thing, and my mission is to change that. I acquired this little company in the middle of COVID. In the flight from Paris to Washington, D.C., we were 7, in a big 777. So in a big plane, we were seven passengers. And this is the picture I took this day. It was 6th of October, 2020. It was very, very strange. And I thought, okay, I'm not sure I did the right decision, to be frank. I was really freaking out. But, okay, I did it. During 3 years, we have worked a lot. Not doing fancy things, to be frank, but being sure that everything now, the basic of the technology was on par with the competition. If you look at the picture, which is on the right upper, you see a guy being blind because he has a scarf on his eyes. And it's just because we thought it's important that everybody, even if he's blind, can scan. So we have worked a lot with a lot of creativity on the fact that we need to make things extremely easy for everybody. This lasts 3 years. But clearly, the mission was to create something which we think will change life of the patients because they understand. And this product is AVA. We have launched AVA exactly 6 weeks ago. This is absolutely a new product category. for the first time ever, we can say the patient understands what they have. The dentist is no longer selling anything, which I think is very important. Acceptance rates increase from 50% to 70%. And I think the most important, if you ask me, the most important, is that the trust is much deeper, much higher between the patient and the dentist. I will simply show you three magics. This is the first magic. The patient is scanned upper lower very fast, 1.20 minutes. 1 minute, 20 seconds, of course. And after less than 2 minutes, he can show on the screen AI-driven, everything automatic, everything that has to be treated. And he can review with the patient everything that has to be treated. With names, AI-driven, so everything is very easy to localize, 3D, 2D, everything is easy. This is the first magic, because the patient now understands, this is here, or this is there, what do I have to do? And the second magic is that after this phase, which is very, very short, of course, the dentist shows to the patient the treatment plan, so everything. And here, it's very strange. And to be frank, we have never anticipated this to be as strange as I will describe it to you. It's no longer the dentist who say, you have to be treated. It's very strange. Now it's the patient who say, I want to be treated. I cannot stay with this cavity that exists. And it absolutely reverse. And now you have a dentist who says, okay, we can wait a little bit. Which is really weird, but which is what we see every day with all the dentists which are experiencing AVA. Okay, I'm very enthusiastic, you can see. I can say that the 150 dentists who have experienced this product are also extremely enthusiastic, and for us it's a big thing. When I go back to my childhood, I feel with a lot of pleasure, I have to say, that I made a round. Now I work also with my husband. I work also with my stepson, who work with us in the company. I think we are able to give more smiles to the patients. At least it's what drives us every day. And I live the American dream. And being with you is very important for me, really. The title of my presentation was about reinventing. And I like this word, even though I think that in life you don't reinvent. You continue your life even though you have closed doors and you have opened new doors. You have all your story in your body, in your stomach. It's absolutely impossible we are built like that. But most important is to think that at the end, we are probably stronger because we have lived everything, and it's just normal. I had the chance to discuss with many, many people in my life, and I realized something. We all have our days of very, very good news. We all have our days of tragedies. And at the end, this is what makes us strong, I think. And so reinventing is not changing. It's becoming the true us, the true who we are. This is my first message. My second message is what is important is always to be aligned with the values that we really bring on board during our childhood or during our first years. My values were very simple. Business, family business, health, dental, US. And I think that when you are realizing that the values are that, then the rest is very easy. This is my message. I hope that you can understand the message I delivered, and I hope that you don't judge too much. It's always difficult to say all that, which are very, very private in front of so many people, but thank you for your attention.